Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshack. Sitting next to me is Jim the Bag. Jim the Bag. I don't even know what to say. You are coming off of an 0-5 day in NHL. You are still, though, even on the year, despite due to the fact that you had a great start to the season. I don't know. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about it? I mean, can you bounce back? Are you the kind of person who can put it behind you and not let it affect your decision making going forward?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a very, very disturbing evening. I thought we were going to hit at least the big plus 266 with the that game, the Blues game. Duchesne shoots the puck in. It goes off a stanchion and comes out right in front, and they score with 5 minutes left. It was very irritating. I'm 1-6 in overtime and shootouts.
That's got to change. And I actually, I hate to say, I tailed you on that one, but I had the -1 line, so I got to push on that one. So I just got to erase it from my record. I was 1-2 in NHL, so I lost a unit, but we both hit our NBA plays, didn't we?
Yeah, thank God.
Toronto. So I'm undefeated in NBA. You're what are you? 5-6-1?
6-1.
All right. So as we know, the losses will happen in sports betting, and Des owners saying, "What happened with the hockey picks yesterday? You were on fire." Well, you are still even on the year. And now here's God, Jim. I feel so bad. Like part of me feels really bad for the other part of me knows that we have to, use it for the jokes to make the videos interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you are still even on the year, and the losses are going to come. You know what I mean? I mean, even in like a college football season for me, there's going to be big losing weeks, and it's a grind, and you have to be focused.
I fucking hate losing.
All right. Well, how about this? How about let's start with the NHL card today, because there are a couple of selections that I'm thinking might be pretty good, and I was kind of liking. And the first one that I want to bring up, let me pull up the lines here. We're running a little bit late. Open all tabs. First one I'm thinking about is the Pittsburgh Florida game, right? Total is 6, as we know. I'm up in hockey still, but the only reason I'm up is just because I've been pounding these overs, and more often than not cashing with them. And probably if we had both just sat here and just given the over in every game, we'd be way up and calling ourselves even bigger geniuses than we were yesterday, which we maybe shouldn't have done. But pride goes before the fall. But I'm thinking that Pittsburgh and Florida on the over might be worth a shot at the 6 -105. I know that Florida, had an under game recently, but in general, an over team. Pittsburgh can score over 6 -105. What do you think, Jim?
I like the Panthers as a home dog here. I can never. When I was going over the Penguins roster again, I was looking at their bottom 6, and truly, if Malkin and Kessel don't provide any offense, this team is going to struggle scoring. Now they're such a complete team, and they're such a veteran leadership and all the intangibles you can ask for. And we know the Panthers are going to score and allow a lot of goals. So I like your over call. I think it makes sense. I'm going to stick with just taking the Panthers as a home dog. I know that the Penguins are getting Ian Cole back in the lineup, but the Panthers are 2-0 at home. And they've moved Dadonov back to that top line with Huberdeau and Barkov. And they have a ton of forward depth. So I've always been a huge Bukestad fan. 6'6", third line. Their third line is very strong.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Panthers as a home dog on the money line.
All right, so let's see. What do you got here? All right, so I'm going to take over 6 minus. Oh, wait, hold on one second. Let me just pull this one up. Let me just because I gotta hold on one second. Let's see. All right, so the Panthers on the money line will be. Let me find that one. Panthers on the money line will be plus 104 plus 105 at UWager. Best line would be plus 105 at UWager. Is that enough for you?
That's enough for me. I'm happy to take it.
All right, and I'm going to be on. Where are we? Over 6 minus 105 on the Pittsburgh Florida game. That is at the bookmaker and a few other places. Another game that is pretty interesting, I think, is Minnesota and Winnipeg. Right now, Minnesota is very banged up, and here's a little note that I have for myself. I don't know if I necessarily want to fade Minnesota here, but I think over over their upcoming, 10 games or so, I'm going to be looking to fade them more often than not. They're kind of banged up. They got a tough schedule coming up, a lot of games in a row, and I think they're going to be a good team to fade here. They haven't played in a week, so they might get up for this game, though. It's an interesting one. Winnipeg lost to Columbus in their last game. I don't know if I want to fade Minnesota here, but again, my prediction is over the next 10 games or so, they're going to be a good fade, right?
I agree. They have 6 games and 11 nights. I like the Jets here a lot. Their power play is 26th in the league at 10%. That will definitely change. They have too much firepower. Their penalty killing is 28. They allow 3.8 goals a game, which puts them 26th in goals against. I think that will all change. I expect Hellebuck to be in there. I'm hoping he's going to be in there. They haven't made that official, but I'm hoping he's going to be in there tonight. And you're absolutely right. The Wild are a banged-up team. And the most success I've had sitting beside you is fading banged-up teams. That's the only time I feel like it's been working. And the Wild are as banged up as you can get. Coyle's out with a broken leg. Foligno has a broken orbital bone. He's been cleared to play and might play. Granlund has a sore groin, maybe playing game time decision. Niederreiter has a sprained ankle. Parise left practice this week with an undisclosed injury. I like the Jets at home, and I'm going to take them, and I'm confident in this action.
But they are very well rested, though, so it might be just that this first game in this tough stretch, they'll come in and then fade later on. Are you worried about that? And Winnipeg is not, a particularly fearsome team, to overcome.
They should be. Their offense, their firepower is electric. They should be a really good home team. Line A should start lighting up. They shouldn't be such an easy team to play. We baited them when we had Columbus against them at home last game, and it worked.
Yes.
But the Jets should be a good home club, and I believe that will start tonight.
All right, so you want them on the money line,
I do.
Minus 120, Winnipeg, minus 120 at Pinnacle and a few other places. Winnipeg, minus 120 is another official pick from Jim the Bag
Some
here.
interesting stuff here. Nate Dogg says Minnesota series 5-5 against the spread and straight up. 7 of 10 games have gone over. Robert Johnston likes the Minnesota-Winnipeg game over.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I definitely had that one circled as a play or a question mark play. I was like, over question mark? All right, but you're going to be on Winnipeg. Next game, let's talk about Vancouver and Buffalo. Vancouver, on a back-to-back, of course, lost at Boston last night. Buffalo's returning from a long trip, really been bad in general, but showing some positive signs, right? They got a win at Anaheim, and then they had a nice comeback, almost win in the Vegas game. So Buffalo showing some life to them. Now the question is just, is Vancouver going to be pissed off about the tough loss yesterday and right on a back-to-back comeback and have a good game? Because if not, I feel like Vancouver's a very fadeable team right now, and Buffalo with some life to them might be worth a shot. What do you think?
I agree completely. Now, I've been reading the Canucks wrong so far this year, and they're my favorite hockey team. I still have no problem betting against my favorite hockey team or betting for them. It doesn't matter that they're my favorite hockey team. But the second half of a back-to-back, I think, will be tough on them. Now, I think the Sabres built momentum in that third period comeback. It's 3 goals in the last 8 minutes, but it was against an expansion team.
Sure, but they also beat out of Anaheim. That was a nice win the game before that, right?
And speaking of teams that need to be faded immediately, Anaheim comes under that. But Kane has gotten off to a good start, 10 points in 7 games. Pominville has 9 points. They're a good team. Eichel has 7 points. I expected so much more from them, and I've not been getting it. But I think this is a good time to take a shot at them. I was so surprised that the Alex Edler injury didn't hurt the Canucks more and they were able to handle it. But Goodbranson is having a hearing for his hitting from behind last night, and he could be out. Now, if Goodbranson and Edler are out of the lineup, how in the world could this Canucks team win? I don't see a world without those 2 defensemen where this Canucks team can win. They have the second worst power play in the league at 4-31. If they don't have any offense and they don't have their best 2 defensemen, I don't see how they could possibly win this hockey game. Okay. And I'm going to take Buffalo.
All right, Buffalo. The best line will be Buffalo minus 157 at Pinnacle. Can I address a hater right now for a second?
Yeah.
Do you mind? Yeah. Here we go. All right, I'm going to address a hater right now. Where is it? Jared23 ANCHETA says going to fade both of you guys, especially loshack. LOL. Well, okay. So I'm just wondering which sport he's looking to fade me in. Is it my 60% in college football? Is it my undefeated record in NBA? Is it my double-digit positive ROI in hockey, or is it my double-digit positive ROI in MMA? Jared 23 ANCHETA, which of my awesome records are you looking to fade right now? Please be specific. Let us know which sport you are looking to fade, because I'm way up in every single sport this year. So I just want to know which specific sport a moron like you is going to look to fade me on. Jared ANCHETA, please let us know which specific sport are you going to fade me on, because the bad news is there's no individual sport that you can pick that I don't currently have a kick-ass record in, including NBA and NHL. Jared ANCHETA. Which sport, please? Thank you very much. Was that nice?
I liked it.
I'm laughing at that. That was satisfying. Was that good? All right. Okay, good. All right. So let's get back to handicapping. I don't think Jared ANCHETA is going to come in and mention which sports he's going to fade me on. But all right. So all right. So you are on Buffalo. What else do you want?
I'm going to take the goal line on the Sabres. I do not like a minus 156. I would rather go for a bigger score. So I'm going to take the minus 1.5.
The minus 1.5 for Buffalo will be best line we can give you at Pinnacle, plus 191.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not a bad line there. Yeah, I mean, it's just I think you're right for doing that. It's probably a lot of volatility here. Vancouver's actually either come in here and get the win, or come in here and have absolutely nothing. So yeah, that sounds nice. All right, so you're on the Buffalo puck line. You're on Florida as a home dog, which a lot of people were sort of saying that they disagreed with you on that one. People saying that they were liking actually the Penguins on the puck line. I mean, the Penguins have in this series. Now I don't know if I don't put that much stock into historical series, but the Penguins have pretty much owned Florida for a few years now. You know,
they have.
Definitely. Let me see. Here we go. Delta 75 saying Pens may cover puck line as well. Nate Dog 420 saying Pittsburgh is 6-1 straight up in ATS, and the over is 2-4. I believe he's talking about in this series. I believe.
I think it's important to remember that all season last year, Huberdeau was out of the lineup. I mean, he came back for the last 10 games. That is a crucial thing to remember.
Yes.
Barkov was in and out of the lineup. Bukestad missed over half the season last year. This team is 2-0 at home, and I think that I'm finding value on the Florida Panthers at home.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So, all right. So let's see. Looking around here. Let's see. And what do you think about my only pick so far is the over in the Pittsburgh Florida game? That seems okay, right? You think that's that? Okay. Okay. I'm definitely leaning over also in the Minnesota Winnipeg game and the Buffalo Vancouver game. Man, that is a tough one. I do feel like it's a bad spot for Buffalo, but I mean, sorry, for Vancouver, but it's just a little bit too high of a line for me to jump on. And then the Washington Detroit game, very interesting. I'm going to stay way off of that one. I could see this one going either way, as well as with the total. You got a little bit burned taking the Washington over with the Toronto in their last game. I think that was a decent pick, though. It was just a fluky result. Detroit's a home dog here. You have anything to say about this one?
Well, yeah, the Capitals don't look good right now. Burakovsky has 0 goals. He's been moved to the third line, and that's created a situation where they have no balance, and I thought they'd have a lot of depth and balance up forward. Ovechkin, Oshie, and Backstrom have 17 of their 22 goals so far this year. They're clearly scuffling. They've lost 3 of 4. They've been outscored 10-2 in their last 2 games. The Wings are coming off back-to-back losses to 2 very good teams in the Lightning and Leafs. I also went on researching this morning. The Red Wings are the oldest team in the NHL, which kind of caught me by surprise because we've been talking about Mantha and Ferk and all these young studs that they have coming up, but they're still a very old team and have an old back end. This is a game I'm going to stay away from.
Right.
I'm need to watch. I need to see how the Capitals react. I think the Red Wings may start slipping. That initial run in their new arena may have been an anomaly, so we'll have to see.
All right, sounds good. I'm sorry, I'm mesmerized by these comments. Jansen Bonzone actually says, I'm fading your sex life, Pete, LOL, which, yeah, you would have been profitable fading my sex life for most of the past few years, but hanging out with a MILF this Saturday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, it's going to be hell, but it's all right. You know, we're going to a quote-unquote a grunge rock show.
Oh, shit.
She wants to go, so I'm like, sure, I'll go. God, it's so I'm taking out I've been planning my whole week so that I won't have to do any research or prep work for Saturday night. Yeah, so you're right, Jansen Bonzone. Good comment there, accurate there, but even that might be in the positive at some point in the near future. So we will see. All right, sorry, it's been a little bit of the losing day threw me off. It threw me a little bit.
I had to take a series of walks last night. I've never been so fucking irritated before. losing a game with 15 seconds left in overtime, having that puck bounce off the fucking stanchion, having the Raiders have 4 fucking chances from the fucking 1 yard line. It was a extremely irritating game a day, and it all started off with me going 6-1 in the NBA.
I know.
I was flying so high, and leave it to fucking handicapping for me to get smashed down to earth. I'm gonna go across the street, talk to Spidey right after this. I'm going over to the Refugio.
Well, that's the reason why proper bet sizing is so important, so that when the losses come, you don't get bankrupted. You just take the appropriate losses and then move on. And then if you look back over a whole year and you see, an ROI for something like baseball, my target ROI in the entire season is like 2%. That's exactly what I hit this past season. For something like NHL, also, maybe because, maybe you could say NHL is a little bit more beatable. Maybe you could say your target ROI might be 3% or 3.5% or something like that. But there's no 10% ROIs in these, long term on the entire season if you're making multiple picks a day. So, you could bounce back very easily, Jim, and I think you probably will. All right. So the 2 games that had no overnight lines, I did not look at. Do you have anything to say about either of them, Jim?
Yeah. The Habs-Ducks game is, I don't know. I mean, there is value. Is there value on Montreal right now? You're getting barely plus. I mean, how can you trust that team of tiny forwards? But this is the time to bet against the Ducks. Getzlaf and Eves are back on the shelf with lower body injuries. Both Vatten and Lindholm are both questionable. But the Habs, god damn, do they look awful. And that was what we said right in the beginning of the year. They have a -16 goal differential. I'm not going to put a move on this. I don't know what's going to happen, but it just looks like a difficult call. But in saying that, the other game does look very interesting. And I've been humming and hawing on it, and there's been some talk about it already with the Devils on our forum. But the Sharks at Devils looks like an interesting proposition. You're getting home dogs lines here, and Pinnacle, and it's changing fast. It's changing fast, and Pinnacle has a great number that maybe I should jump on right now. It is the second half of a back-to-back for the Devils. And no Western Conference team has a better record against Eastern Conference squads than the San Jose Sharks, but this is a team aging fast. And I thought they were going to be the oldest team in the league, but there are 5 teams that have an older average age than the Sharks. As slow as they are, their veterans are still very good on special teams. So they're tied for 3rd on power play. They've killed 19 of their last 20 penalties. They still do the little things right. Logan Couture has 4 points in their last game over the Habs. And if you thought Joe Thornton was slow before, you should see him coming off of knee surgery. I mean, I love the guy, but he's skating very slowly. Now, I think we should bet against them on this road trip. So again, like we talked in before about the Wild, maybe they are okay in this first game, but they play 5 games in 8 days while traveling 5,430 miles. It's going to be a nice spot. Taylor Hall's getting going for the Devils. The first overall pick, Nico Herscher, got 2 goals and assists last night. But the bad news with the Devils, and the reason why I didn't hammer this immediately, is Corey Schneider left the game with a lower body injury, which means Keith Kincaid is starting in goal. And that was enough to give me pause and to not make an official move.
All right, so let's sum up our picks. I am on the Pittsburgh, Florida over. You are on Buffalo puck line. You are on the Florida small home dog line, and you're on the Winnipeg money line, and that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. And my leans, let me see if I want to add. My only leans were, let me see, what were the leans that I wanted to think about? I was thinking about Winnipeg, and Winnipeg on the -1 line might be worth the shot. I was thinking of Buffalo, but that is too high. And as far as the totals are concerned, I was thinking about a shot with the over in the Minnesota Winnipeg game as well. What do you think about that one? That's kind of it. What's your take on Dubnyk right now? Do you think he's a fadeable guy, or a guy who is probably going to be reliable long term?
Well, I did not expect him to be the Vezina nominee that he was last year. And when the Oilers got rid of Dubnyk, I thought for good reason. So he sort of came out of nowhere to be a stud. So I could see that happen. Now the question is, with the Wild's injuries, are they going to really tighten up?
Yeah.
So I like the Jets a lot here, and I don't. It's a good question. We got to
Yeah.
keep an eye on Dubnik
Yes,
because we
yes.
could be ahead of the curve if we start fading him.
Yes, that's the only reason. I'm going to try to do some more research into the questions that I have in my head in terms of hockey this weekend, and that is one is what to expect from Dubnik long term, because as of right now, I'm not exactly sure. All right, so I guess as of right now, I'll just stick with the one play: Pittsburgh and Florida over. Jim, you got 3 plays in NHL.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. So that wraps up the NHL slate for today. Hope you have a nice bounce back win. If you have a winning day today, Jim, you are once again positive. Right now, you are down 1/10 of a unit according to my records in NHL.
It's extremely irritating.
But that's how it can happen. You can have winning day after winning day after winning day after winning day, and you have one offer day, and then all of a sudden, all the wins are completely eliminated. Right?
Yeah, and as I said, I just need to find a balance because I find the losing days way worse than I enjoy the winning days.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I enjoy your days in hockey every day because you do unparalleled research. You know these teams back and forth, and that is very valuable. No, any way you slice it, Jim.
Oh, well, I'm honored to sit here and
Yes.
I'm honored to work with all the SBR guys.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on to NBA. As I said in the beginning of the season, there are going to be days just because of division of labor issues and just how much time there is in a week for me that I'm going to completely pass on an NBA card. I am right now undefeated in the NBA. Jim, right behind me at 6-1 in the NBA. Yesterday, you nailed the under. Cashed easily, and I nailed the Toronto one. Did not have the lack of balls to take that one, and that one did cash. And we got a huge NBA card today, and I did not look at any of them, so it's going to be all you, Jim, today. What do you have for us?
Oh, there's a bunch of games that I really like, and let's see what's my favorite right now. I guess my very favorite. This is a fun schedule. It's nice being 6-1. Now I can start smiling.
Yeah,
now we got through hockey.
Oh, absolutely.
I can feel good about myself. 6-1 is a really nice start.
I mean, it's not like your hockey record is negative. You're even. You're even, which is okay. It's just that it all came in one day, ruining a whole bunch of winning days in a row. But you're still even. You're still way up in NBA. Well, that's how betting goes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's. Why don't we start with? I'm going to take the Philadelphia 76ers as a slight home dog. Are they still?
I'm actually seeing them as a favorite, minus
shit.
1.5 or 1.
That's changed. Damn it. Celtics have a ton of question marks with their rotation. Jaylen Brown's wrist was heavily taped after the loss. So we're going to see a ton of Jason Tatum. Simmons looked great in his debut, 18, 10, and 5. Covington put up 29. Embiid got his wish and played 27 minutes instead of the 16 that his coach proposed. You were on them, and I was very impressed. I watched the entire game. This is a very deep roster. I like Saric and Amir Johnson backing up Embiid a lot. So I think this is a nice shot. I think that the Celtics will figure themselves out. There's no question that they'll figure themselves out. But at this point, I'm going to fade them as I did in their last game with the Bucks. I'm going to fade them and take the 76ers on the money line.
All right, on the money line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me find the money line. It would be, let me see. The money line for the Sixers would be best line minus 110 at Pinnacle, BetOnline, SportsBetting.ag, and a few other places. Sixers minus 110.
All right. Anil Frank says Sixers, baby. I like it. Jansen Bronson says Bucks tonight. And funny you mentioned that. This has been a game that I've just been humming and hawing. Can the Bucks start out by beating the Celtics and the Cavs? I don't know. But goddamn, did Giannis Antetokounmpo look good? As you know, he's my plus 900 pick for MVP. The others in the starting unit looked great too. Brogdon, Snell, Middleton, Maker. They have a ton of defense. They're hard to play against. Love looked okay at the 5 against the Celtics. LeBron's ankle didn't seem to be bothering him too much. I like the Bucks here. I do, but I am not going to make it an official selection.
Okay. You have any other official selections for us,
Yes,
Jim?
I'm going to take the Blazers to defeat the Pacers.
Okay.
Pat Connaughton put up 24 in their 48-point victory. I love Caleb Swanigan. You guys all know a Big Ten Player of the Year last year. NBA-type body. We said that all year last year, and his toughness will fit in nicely in Portland. They don't have a ton of toughness. Lillard put up 27. McCollum is going to be itching to get in the lineup. The Pacers put up 140 when they defeated the Nets. McMillan wants them to average 110 a game. If they get into a shootout with the Blazers, they are going to lose. I thought about the over-under, but 225.5 is very high. a big thing is that a turning point for me capping this game was Miles Turner is questionable. He's a big piece for the Pacers, and so I'm gonna take the Pacers, or sorry, I'm gonna take the Blazers here, and I'm gonna take them on the spread.
Okay, it is now -5. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Delta 75 saying, "Wow, I love Pacers +3.5 here," and it's now the line is -5. So the best line we can give you would be -5, -107 at at Pinnacle. Okay. That's certainly interesting. Delta 75 saying, "Wow, he loves the Pacers." But the last time someone said "Wow," and like the opposite side of you was yesterday when Jansen Bonzone said, "Really? Wow, I like the over in the OKC game." Jansen Bonzone, of course, usually a guy who does know what he's talking about, but it turned out you were right about that. So maybe people who, and Jansen Bonzone saying he likes your play on Portland -5. So that's nice. Let's see. Andrew G says Miles Turner doubtful for tonight's game. Love the Blazers. Okay, -5, -107. What else do you have for us, Jim?
I really like the Wolves at home tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be debuting their new team in their home court.
And just as you say that, Jesus Cabrera says Minnesota over Jazz.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to see them play very much. And they were up 1 with 5 minutes to play versus Spurs. When they are more, and I know this is a Spurs team without Kawhi Leonard, but when they have more comfort together on the court, they'll be able to hold these leads. Newcomer and starting point guard Jeff Teague was not on the floor during crunch time. Tyus Jones was playing down the stretch, which caught me by surprise. It'll be interesting to see Rubio back in his old stomping grounds. But I like the Wolves here, and I like the line because it went down.
Yes.
It started at 5.5, now it's down to 4.5. I think that's a really nice spot.
Well, we're going to give you 4 at BetDSI. We line shop around. We do use BetDSI, and you're right. It's a lot of 4.5s market wide, but DSI, which is a book that we use, has 4, -4, -110 for Minnesota.
I love it.
All right. What else do you? Here we go. A lot of people, generally people agreeing with you. Tomer saying I lean Minnesota, but I think it's going to take time. One concern I have with this game, Utah's a very deep team. Minnesota's bench is horrible. Interesting. Yes, benches do tend to matter, especially later on in the season. In general, in the NBA, the regular season is a lot more about depth. In the playoffs, ATS success is a lot more about the starting 5 and the stars, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What else do you have?
I like I'm hoping that I have a nice read on this Detroit Pistons basketball team. I loved you singing "It's Cold in the D."
Yeah, I'll sing it anytime you want. It's so cold in the D.
We're talking about Michigan, a state that respects the hot dog. There's no face in the hot dog, no eyeballs in the hot dog, only in Michigan. Green Dot Stables is my favorite restaurant maybe in the world. I mean, it's just a little slider bar, but it's all horses. So in saying that, I think I got a read on the Pistons. I'm taking the under in the Pistons at Wizards game. The Wizards didn't shoot the ball particularly well in their win over the Sixers, just 43.3%. Obviously, Wall and Beal took things over in the third. But Markieff Morris is out. Jason Smith is day-to-day. Who's going to play at power forward? I understand people liking the Pistons at +6. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to expect a tough game, a tight game, and I'm going to take the under in Pistons.
All right, best line we can give is under 211 +100 at Pinnacle. Under 211 +100.
I think that's a great line. 211. I just think that's too high. I think this is a nice spot.
Wow, Drummond was fucking that blonde from iCarly. I'm going to look into that rumor. I didn't know about that. Did you know about this?
No, I don't even know what iCarly is.
Drummond was fucking that girl from iCarly. All right, I will look into that when I have a little bit of when I want to get my my brain a rest from all that from all the college football handicapping I'm going to be doing tonight. All right, there you go. Screenshot there. We can get that one. All right, what else do you have for us, Jim?
I have one more pick, I believe. Get down there. Yes, I have one more pick on an official pick. Although I've capped all of the games, I have one more official pick. It is the Warriors at Pelicans over.
Okay.
Draymond Green twisted his knee versus the Rockets. Doubtful to go tonight. Iguodala's not going. He's a huge stopper. Caspi's unlikely to play too. Like we said earlier, there's nobody to help Davis and Cousins, but they do know how to put the ball in the bucket. Etwan Moore was the only other Pelicans in double figures. Jrue Holiday did not look good trying to fill the role of Rondo. 2 for 11, 4 assists, 3 turnovers. I think this will be a sloppy game and an offensive game.
Okay. The line would be 220.5 -110, but Pinnacle is 221 at +103. I would suggest you take that one. How about that one?
I'll take it.
221 plus 103 at Pinnacle, Golden State, and New Orleans. And those are all the picks that you're going to give, Jim?
Yeah, those are all my official picks.
All right. So why don't you just review your official picks while I scan the comments. If anyone has any questions about NBA games they'd like Jim to address that we didn't get to, post your questions and we will answer them. Jim will answer them. If there aren't any questions, then we will move on to football. But Jim, why don't you review your picks and give the viewers a little bit of time to ask questions on NBA games that we did not get to yet, if they have any.
Absolutely. And Thomo says that Iguodala is probable. You know, we've seen Iguodala play games when he's hurt and his back goes out. Something happens. He still only ends up playing 15 minutes. So I got the 76ers at minus 110. I got the Pistons Wizards under 211. I've got the Blazers at minus 5 over the Pacers. And then I have the Wolves minus 4, which I love that line, at minus 110. And then I have the Warriors, Pelicans over 221 at plus 103. And that's everything.
Okay, sounds good. No questions about any NBA games. Just Jesus Cabrera asking where the best girls in Costa Rica are. So I guess here we go. Bobby the Mush, Sixers under 218. What do you think about that one? You do have a pick on the Sixers game, so obviously you like that one for a certain reason. It's not 218 anymore. 217 or 217 and a half. What do you think about the under about that one?
That is. I'm afraid to take unders with the Sixers squad right now. They seem like an offensive juggernaut. Now, obviously, if Embiid keeps playing 27 minutes a game, there's a chance that they can get stops. As we noted yesterday, or on the first day of the season, or yesterday, I guess, we noted that, when you hammered them, we noted that when Embiid is on the floor, they have a better defensive ranking than the number 1 team in the league last year, the Spurs. So if he's going to play more, you have a definite shot at that. But I just see Irving putting up a huge number. He's going to have to carry the load for the team. And I need to see the Sixers make stops before I'm going to take the under. But I get it. It's a high number. So I can understand why someone would want to take it.
Yes. All right. And Joshua Augustine weighing in saying that Golden State is your best pick here. Okay. Yes. Everyone's saying that Golden State is the pick that they liked. Robinson Jeppa saying, I have a question, Pete. On that day, we'd be a gentleman or a rebel without a cause. I'm not exactly sure yet. I actually have been mulling that over in my head, and I'm still debating what my general demeanor will be on that date.
It is a bad week to be a rebel without a cause if you are following the news.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so that's it for NBA. Once again, there are going to be times this year, just because of the amount of time that I spend looking at college football, that I'm going to pass on NBA. And this is just one of the days where I just decided I'm just going to pass on the entire card and leave it all on Jim. And Jim did a bang up job covering it. But I will do as much NBA coverage as I can, time permitted. All right, so now let's move on to football. 4 college games tonight. Very interesting stuff. Before we get to the college games tonight, let me just update people on one other college football pick that I did add yesterday when I covered a game with Joe Gavazzi. I looked into the Arizona game a little bit more deeply, and I wound up adding Arizona minus 2.5, minus 115 as one of my official picks with Khalil Tate at quarterback. I've been following Khalil Tate his whole career, and he is really, really stepping it up. And Arizona's running game is pretty unstoppable right now, as long as Tate doesn't get injured. And California does not look like the kind of team that'll be able to reliably stop him. So I added on Arizona minus 2.5 to my official slate of picks. All right, so 4 interesting games tonight, and a CFL game that, man, I wish I'd been tracking my CFL picks this year, because they've been doing it as well as my college picks for sure. And I did bet the CFL game tonight. We will get to that in a second. But 4 very interesting games tonight. Of course, yesterday I passed on both of those games. Memphis did wind up getting the win, and all the people who thought the line looked fishy cashed with Memphis. It wound up closing, close to pick 'em, and so nice on anyone who cashed. I just stayed off that because it made me nervous. Today we have 4 interesting kind of quirky games. There is one play that I'm liking enough that I think I'm liking enough to add to my official record, and I think that is going to be Middle Tennessee against Marshall. Now, of course, Marshall is 5-1 ATS this year, been playing very well. A lot of soft competition. I did think that the expectations of Marshall, the preseason expectations that were down for Marshall this year, were a little bit overstated and overblown, and they did come in, of course, and have a bunch of games where they cashed. But Middle Tennessee, their big deal, of course, that Stockstill got injured, and the new quarterback who has been replacing him has been up and down and inconsistent, to put it mildly. But they are the better team, I believe, and if he can limit his turnovers, Middle Tennessee, I think, should win this one. And that's a big if, though. If he can limit his turnovers, he's an inconsistent quarterback. But Marshall doesn't have anything noteworthy on offense, particularly noteworthy on offense. So if Middle Tennessee can start putting up points, and also the fact they get back their key receiver is a plus for them here as well. And just the fact they're a home dog is a plus for them as well. So, of course, it opened at 3. That's not available anymore. I do wish I could be getting 3, but UWager and the Greek both have 2.5. So I will take the UWager line plus 2.5, minus 110, Middle Tennessee. I think they probably win the game, but getting those 2 extra points is certainly nice. Probably on the money line is the better value, but I'll just, I won't worry about that right now. And I'll go with Middle Tennessee plus 2.5, minus 110. I will add that one onto my official record. Hopefully Middle Tennessee will be able to limit their turnovers and limit their interceptions with that quarterback. What do you think, Jim?
I think you're on the right track. The question is Urzua, if he can, he's just a very questionable entity, but these home, as I've noticed over the last little while, these home teams can really step up in a big spot. Brad Anderson has 0 touchdowns this year. I mean, there's things that Middle Tennessee obviously needs to work on, but I think it's a really good spot. I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, Jensen Bonzone saying Marshall here. Jensen Bonzone liking Marshall. Delta 7575 saying Marshall money line is minus 125. I think it's solid. Listen, I can understand this is not a top play for me. This is a tick below. I basically have 3 levels of plays that I use, and my top plays are like over 60% this year, but my second level plays are in the mid 50s, and this is a second level play for me, not a top play, but it is a solid play, and I'm on Middle Tennessee plus 2.5, and I did bet it.
Terrence Kelly is with you. My man Lou Skunt is with you.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. Jansen Bonzone I'm going dead against Jansen Bonzone. Tomarino Tomor saying I hammered Penn State at 9.5. I think Michigan is overrated. They've beaten Nolan with the quarterback. Great spotted matchup in my opinion. Michigan QB play sucks. And Tomarino Tomor all week long, I have been saying that Penn State was my lean on that game as well. Also, my lean was to the over when it was at 42, and I bet it actually at 41.5. Didn't give it as a pick though, and now it's up to 44.5 or 45. But I'm agreeing with you, Tomarino Tomor. I like Penn State in that game, and I haven't made a final decision on that one. But again, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, I will be doing my regular show with Big Man on Campus. And last week, I got sick on Friday night, so I didn't have any official picks. I'm feeling great right now, fired up, eating healthy, and so I might add a whole bunch of picks onto my official card tomorrow as well. I've already got about 20 going, and yeah. So let's see what other Tomarino Tomor saying I like Notre Dame at minus 4.2. USC has 19 injured players and no run defense. And these offense is top 5. I think they will pound them. I actually gave USC at plus 3.5 as an official pick. I'm going to look into those the injury status. I wasn't aware that USC had particular, although USC is so deep that their injuries often don't matter. But yeah, that's also a second tier play, not necessarily a top tier play. But I did add USC plus 3.5. I can certainly see why someone would like Notre Dame. And if Notre Dame covers, I won't be thinking what the hell was I thinking. I'll just thinking, all right, I took a shot, and there you go. Terrence Kelly saying, Pete, do you think Rutgers can do it again? Terrence Kelly, Rutgers was one of my official picks on Monday. I added that one on Monday. I got it at 8. It's now 9 or 9.5, which does not surprise me nor concern me. I'm not surprised at all that Rutgers has been faded. Let's look at what the line is right now. It might have moved since I last checked. Where is it? Come on. Rutgers is yeah, it's 9.5. Wow. And betonlinesportsbetting.ag have 10. And probably if I had tried to be slick, I would have assumed that line was going to get bet up. And I probably could have tried to be slick and waited and gotten it at 10 instead of 8. But I wanted to give it immediately. So yeah, I am the Jansen Bonzone saying I hate going against Pete. Listen, Jansen, first of all, I wouldn't say this is one play where definitely don't go against me on. And second of all, what can I tell you? Maybe I'm due for like can I take a shot at you right now?
Yeah. I saw it coming.
Maybe I'm due for a Jimmy on Thursday in NHL-esque week in college football. I can't keep up a 60% forever. Or can I? We don't know. But listen, I do my research, I make my picks, and I try my best. So, yeah, Jesus Cabrera asking about Oklahoma State -7. Jesus Cabrera, I've already given that one as well as an official pick. Yes, I think it's a bad spot for Texas, and I like Oklahoma State -7. That is already an official pick that I have given. Let's see what else. What else are people? Terrence Kelly saying I got 10 Pete. Nice job, Terrence Kelly. Yeah. I like Rutgers here, and I took them at +8. Let's see, Dale 07. All right, so asking about Colorado State. All right, so let's get back to some of the DP 13P saying Notre Dame way overrated. I would not go that far, but I would say a bit overrated at least right now. Notre Dame is great, and I had them against Miami, Ohio when everyone was against them, and I had the over on that one. But yeah. Jansen Bonzone saying Penn State, Michigan will be low scoring. All right, so a lot of people talking about college football, and of course tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. we will be covering the entire card with Big Man on campus. Okay, command respect,
Command.
Command. No. Jimmy gets respect, but look, Jimmy knows that Jimmy respects where the jokes are. And if there's a low-hanging fruit joke that's just hanging there, Jimmy respects anyone who goes and picks the fruit, right?
You know what? If I was losing over and over and over again, it wouldn't be available.
Yeah, and listen, you can take shots at me anytime you want. As of right now, yeah. I mean, look, you can take a shot at this if you want. Look, anytime you want. Low-hanging fruit right there, Jim, for jokes.
I think you are looking goddamn good. I think you're going to have success on Saturday night.
Absolutely. Take any shot you want at me by all means. All right, let's see. Oklahoma line is not up. K-State +14.5. That is a really tough one, the Oklahoma Kansas State game. I'm probably staying way off of that one. But yeah. SMU, loshack, what do you think about that? Yes, that is one that I want to look into, that I have to look into further, but I am definitely leaning SMU and also thinking about the over in that one, and of course the SMU team total over. But yes, I am leaning SMU for now. Going to have to look into that one closer, and that is definitely one that I'll have a strong opinion on, one or a final decision on by tomorrow on the Saturday card. All right, so let's get okay. God, everyone's asking about college football plays. Pete, what do you think about West Virginia Baylor? I don't have any opinion on that one right now. Tomorrow morning we will cover all this stuff, but I understand that's last minute. All right, so. Let's get back to the other games that go tonight. That's the only game that I'm really going to give, which is Middle Tennessee +2.5, because the other games are tough. Obviously, the Colorado State-New Mexico game is very tough. New Mexico's been, sneaky good, and a lot has depended on that quarterback Lamar Jordan's injury status, and he is not on the injury list, so he should be at full health here. Colorado State, though, is a great team. I would be leaning over in that one, even though New Mexico got shut out in their last game. I was not expecting them to get shut the F out by Fresno State, who is nothing special. And Colorado State is the real deal in general. This is a tough spot. New Mexico plays a lot better at home. Colorado State does have a short week to prepare for the option, although historically, New Mexico's offense has never been a problem for Colorado State. Colorado State routinely has beaten them by double digits, and this is a particularly good version of Colorado State, as we all know. So it's tempting to take Colorado State here at -7, but I'm going to lay off it. And the over is also tempting, but I'm going to lay off that one. The Air Force Nevada game is a total pass for me. Who knows what condition Air Force is in, and how Nevada will respond to the option offense here on a short week. And Nevada is also coming off of two big margin covers. They almost beat Colorado State last week as a massive underdog. And so, so is this a letdown spot for Nevada, or is the market not caught up with Nevada turning things around? And again, then you throw in the Air Force option as another monkey wrench. That's a total pass for me, slightly into the under in the Air Force Nevada game. And then the Western Kentucky Old Dominion game is another one that is very tricky. Again, did Western Kentucky turn a corner offensively in their last game? My guess is probably yes. But this is a lot of points to be giving to the Old Dominion that is, not a good team, but a scrappy team. So in a Friday night game like this, again, I'm just going to pass. Lean Western Kentucky, though. So I would definitely be leaning Colorado State, leaning Western Kentucky, leaning Colorado State, New Mexico over, extremely tiny lean to the Air Force Nevada under, and Middle Tennessee State +2.5 is my only official pick that I will add onto my record. Let's see. Let's just look at what these totals are. The Colorado State, New Mexico total, 59.5 or 60. The Greek has 59. That would be Tempe. My only concern here would be, is New Mexico going to try to purposefully slow things down with their running game, and it sneaks under. I do think that New Mexico, should bounce back offensively from what they did, last week. They got shut out. That is not acceptable. You mind if I go for another gym? No, I'm not going to go for
no,
another.
no, feel free, man. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, they got shut out, not acceptable, and I think they'll probably put up at least some points here against the Colorado State defense. So that is a pretty strong lean there. The over 59, Colorado State, New Mexico, because Colorado State has a productive offense, and they are hard to stop no matter what. God, should I do it? No, I'll hold off. But that is definitely a lean. I'll just give the one pick. Middle Tennessee State plus 2.5. Definitely a lean on the Colorado State, New Mexico over at 59. Extremely tiny lean to the under in Air Force Nevada, and modest leans to both Western Kentucky and Colorado State. Colorado State at 7, Western Kentucky at the 7.5. Colorado State lean would definitely be the stronger of those two leans, but there you go. Cal 707 Bear asking about Temple and Army. Cal 707 Bear, I've already given the under in that one, 47 as an official pick. Delta 75-75 like in the over on that one, predicting a final score of 35-24 in favor of Army. That could be the case. Temple is certainly a weak team in general. Lou Skunt saying Marshall plus 2 and Western Kentucky -7 is what I'm on. Nice. And if you got 7, that is a good line. I'm only seeing 7.5. Nice job, Lou Skunt, if you got 7. All right. Indian Cowboys on SMU. Yes, I'm liking SMU as well. Our old friend, Indian Cowboy. Hopefully we'll be able to do some videos with him at some point. Let's see. What else do you have to say?
Well, Ella Caribou wants me to comment on him or her. I'm not sure. It's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
But Ella Caribou wants me to comment on the fact that my Blackhawks Calgary parlay lost. If you've been riding all my free picks this month, you would be way up. If you just hammer me on one night, then you can drink a pint glass of sperm if you're going to lay into me. All right. So
yes, absolutely. People like to say that. All right, here we go. Mile High, Pete asking Pete, how can we tell which picks are your premium picks? Mile High, basically any pick that I give here is I say it's either official or a lean. And my record that I quote is all the picks that I say are official, and the leans that I have are usually bets that I've bet. But I just don't like enough to give publicly. On my own personal accounts, I basically divide them into 3 levels of picks. I have my top plays, then I have my medium level plays, and then I have my bottom plays, which are still bets, but small or token levels. But yeah, so when I say anything that I say this is an official pick, that goes on my record. Anything where I say this is a lean, I'm going to hold off on making it official, but it's a lean. Doesn't go on my official record that I track and quote in these shows. All right, and DP13 saying, Pete, how are you not on UCF, Central Florida? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. That's a game tomorrow, and I will look into that more deeply. Okay, so let's just quickly.
We do have a couple. We should touch on the baseball game.
Well, we will get to that one.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So let's. All right. So let's move on to that one. And Michael, everyone's talking about the MILF date. Yeah, they're giving me suggestions. Yeah, I do like MILFs because they spend all their time raising their kids. This one is a MILF where her kids are just starting to get into the adult range. So she's just starting to go. She's not old. She had her kids really young. Very attractive woman.
And MILFs will feed you.
Yeah, I like MILFs. So maybe I'll just go for it quickly. I'll be like, fuck this grunge music. Let's just get out of here and get freaky, baby.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I'll be like, who cares about this grunge cover band? Let's split this joint and get freaky, baby.
All you have to do is sing "It's Cold, It's Cold in the D."
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on. In the CFL game, I did make a bet. I did take a shot with the over at 51. It's a Saskatchewan against Calgary as the season winds down. A lot of these games in the CFL tend to get a little bit screwy, and this one is one where I think it's going to be more offense than defense, and I am taking the over. I did bet it. It's 51, 51.5, or 52. The Greek definitely has a lean to the over. They have 52. Pinnacle has 51.5. Bookmaker and BetDSI still have 51, and that was the line that I bet it at 51. And smaller, I did also take a shot with Saskatchewan at plus 10, and it is still 10.
That is exactly what I'm taking. I'm taking Saskatchewan to plus 10. The Stamps can clinch home field throughout, but they're going to get it anyways. There's 3 games left. It's not a problem. Riders can clinch a playoff berth with the win. And I'm really excited to see Deron Carter, their star wide receiver, play cornerback. He's going to be playing cornerback in this game. That's exciting. He's got 72 catches for 1,037 yards, 8 TDs. He's going to be playing both sides of the field. I think that the Stamps aren't going to take this and they're going to make sure they don't have injuries, and they're going to play backups. And I think I'm going to definitely put this into my action today that the Riders will cover.
Yes, I bet both of those. I bet the over 51 and Saskatchewan at the +10. There you go, Jim. Even though we're not officially tracking CFL, Jim's still doing his research into the CFL, and we probably should have been tracking CFL because I've been kicking ass in it. There have been a bunch of games. I don't know why we didn't track it, but yes, Jim and I both liking Saskatchewan +10. 10 is still available at the Greek, and I'm liking the over 51 on that one. All right, let's quickly touch on the MLB game. There is one MLB game. Where is that one? It is Severino against Verlander. Houston against the Yankees. The Yankees are a modest road dog. I have no opinion on this one. I'm going to pass on it. If you gave me your free play right now, I'd take a shot with the Yankees as a road dog.
Would you? Yeah. I think that, and tell me what you think of this ideology, but the best 1% of pitchers are the only ones that can face a squad twice in a series and continue to dominate. And we saw Kershaw the second time facing the squad dominate. We saw Quintana, who's a really good pitcher. We saw Hendricks too in that series. When you see a team twice, you can't always make changes. I don't know if Tanaka's in that top 1%. He's certainly pitching like it right now, but I think Verlander is. I think Verlander is going to. This is one of the biggest games of his life, and certainly the biggest game in the last couple of years. And I think he's going to pitch lights out. Obviously, the question is the Astros offense. They have 9 runs in the series, 1 home run in the series. They have a 147, 234, 213 slash line. But I like the Astros in this game, and I'm going to make it. I do.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I like it now. When it goes to game 7, I do not like the Astros' chances. Their pitching staff is not lined up appropriately, and we've seen the depth of the Yankees pitching staff, and it will come. And I think they'll win in game 7, but I think that Astros will win in game 6, and I'm going to take them. I know that the line isn't great.
The Astros, the best line we can give right now would be -137 at Pinnacle and a few other places. I'm staying off this one. We gave me a free play right now, just purely based on value. I take the Yankees at +132 at a bunch of places, but
I'm seeing -128 at Pinnacle.
Oh yeah, because I use lines that we'll give you one. I mean, because I turn my internet off so that the lines
at the start,
right? So people can go back and track them.
Yeah,
right at 10:30, this is when the lines were.
I'll start doing that too. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll take them at -138.
137. 137. All right, Houston -137 is an official pick for Jim. Houston -137. All right, and then Jim, last Friday we did an NFL thing. We're coming up on 53 minutes, but if you want to give I have not done my deep research into the NFL this week because I do like Seattle. Do you want to give some NFL picks?
Yeah, I would like to go really quick because I need to improve my record. Okay. I will add 4 picks to my slate.
And of course, we will be giving you the lines that exist right now.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay.
I really like the Panthers at Bears over. I think Trubisky is obviously provided spark. We'll go over this quickly, but Kuechly, without Kuechly being there, I just think there's going to be offense. I think that line is low. I don't know if it's still 40.5. I don't know.
40.5 -108 at Pinnacle. Yes. I
think that's great, and I'm quite confident in that.
Okay.
One. I'm also going to take the Jags at Colts under 44.
Okay.
I love Bouye and Ramsey so much in the secondary, and on paper, this front 7 looks good. What is wrong with them? I think they'll definitely turn it around against a weak running game that the Colts have. I love Malik Hooker too. I just think I think this could be a nice little defensive situation that I'm going to take. So I'm going to take the under 44.
Under 44, -110.
Perfect. Okay. And then the 2 games that we talked about already this week, the Seahawks -5.5.
Well, you got it at 5, -110.
Perfect. And then
it's now down to 4.5. If you had waited, you could have gotten 4.5, but you already put this one on your official
record.
I
had waited, I would get a better number with the Saints as well. That one's gone in the opposite direction.
But actually, you didn't give that one officially yet.
Oh, okay. Then I'm making it an official pick. The New Orleans Saints. A lot of people have poked holes, and very respected guys, have liked the Packers right now. But for the life of me, I just don't see how Huntley's going to be able to confidently move the ball. For the life of me, and we've seen what Breeze is doing right now, and I might be simplifying this action too much, but I just I'm taking the Saints confidently.
Okay, -4, -108 is the line that will go on your official record for our official picks tracking in these shows, Jim. All right, so we're coming up on an hour here once again, but Jim's got a bunch of NBA picks going. I've got one NHL pick, and Jim's got a handful of NHL picks going. I have one college football pick for tonight that I added on, and Jim even added on an MLB play. And I got Jim and I got a couple CFL picks that we like as well. And actually, CFL picks are like kind of my favorite plays of the day out of all of them, out of all the sports.
I really like that.
Yeah.
+10. But we also have to mention where we will be on Monday.
We'll be in the studio supposedly, which should be maybe have a who knows how that's going to shake things up, but it should be fun, should be interesting. We'll have the comments on a tablet, so we'll be able to see those, and hopefully there'll be no tech glitches, and we'll pick off right where we left off.
And it's half an hour earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Will be 10 o'clock Eastern time, 7 a.m. Pacific. That's when we will be doing the morning show.
Absolutely. That'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and hopefully the marketing people will publicize that so that everyone will know about it and everyone will be aware of it. 10 a.m. Eastern time on Monday.
And we will hear how it went on Saturday night.
Yes, we will. And then at 11 a.m. tomorrow, tune in for the show I do with BMOC, where I'll finalize my college football plays. Thanks for tuning in.